everyone. We're here today on this cold winter day. We had our first snowstorm, and me, I don't like the snow, but we all know Michelle loves the snow. I just hope everybody is going to be safe driving in the snow, and I just also want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I hope everybody has a safe new year. And I think I'm going to the first night with the grandchildren on December 31st at the Armory in Torrington. I go every year with my grandchildren. It's fun. They have activities for the children. They have music. They have and then they have at 7:00. They have the kids all get together and they count down the new year, and a bunch of balloons fall down. It's really nice and it's fun. I'm going with my kids. So here's Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
How you doing? And of course today, like she said, we got our first snow for southern New England, and some of you guys probably enjoyed it. Some of you probably didn't. However, got some good news. I mentioned the Kansas City eye drops in my vlog. I just want to remind some of you who may not have seen it. The Kansas City eye drops have indeed, they're still working on my cataracts. The cataract in my right eye is still there, but it is becoming less and less noticeable. And so I'm able to see better. And the problem is every time I keep forgetting this, and those always out of frame. I'm trying to focus to get the frame more so Dory be in frame this time. Because I'm usually like, in frame and she's on the edge or whatever. Why don't you just pull the camera back further so you can both be in frame? You think we should try?
As we all know, we have Fame here.
Oh yeah, Fame's here. So why don't I do it? Let's see, Jason, let me see if I can pull this camera back a bit more so we can get everybody in frame without having to be compromised.
So, and I want to also who people have move that cat, he's like right in my way. I also
That cat you were telling me looks a little bit like Fame is probably a female cat.
Yeah, it is.
Fame is a boy cat.
Yeah. I have some people that weren't so happy and lucky in this December. I have a friend that lost two people that she was very close to, and I hope she's doing well. This year, December was a very rough time for me too, because I lost two people in 1 year. I lost my father in August of 2010, and I lost my ex-boyfriend in 2010 of December. So, and it's really rough for me this year. I don't know why, but the holidays really hit me hard this year. And just remember one thing, and I always tell myself this too, but sometimes I don't do it myself too. Just remember one thing: our family that have passed away or in heaven would not want us to draw on them. So just try to, the people that you have with you now, just try to try really hard to make them feel happy around the holidays, make them feel warm, because you never know when you're going to wake up and somebody in your life is going to be gone.
Or maybe you might wake up and find yourself somewhere else.
Exactly, you never know.
Right.
And there's only 7 of us left right now. My sister, my daughter, my other daughter, and my 2 grandchildren. And that's it, including myself. And we have really no immediate family. Like, aunts and relatives are all gone. And so it's like, what I have right now means a really lot to me, because family to me is a lot. And I had a wonderful time with my family over the holidays, and I came up here and I spent the Christmas party at the soup kitchen with Michelle,
Right.
and I had a wonderful time with that. Me and Michelle had Christmas dinner together at the soup kitchen, and that meant a lot to Michelle, and it meant a lot to me too, because Michelle is a great person, and I just want Michelle to know that, let people out there know that people that have mental illness, they're not bad people.
I think the thing was that, like you, I always had enjoyable times during the holidays, especially Christmas. It's something that a lot of kids feel, but then a lot of adults kind of don't feel it after a while. But, there's always been something magical about Christmas. Yeah. Even though if you have to deal with the adult responsibilities of paying for the packages and the bills afterwards, it's still...
But it's not all about that. It's all about making people feel good.
I make people feel good year round.
Exactly.
I don't need a holiday for that.
Right. Because
I do exactly what Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure said. Be excellent to one another. It's always the way it's been. So,
people always tell me that I always have, especially at prime time, I always make people feel happy. And to me, because at prime time, I make cards. And to me, making a card for someone is more than a gift, because you expect your feelings and your emotions in a card.
I think the thing that's better than a card is to talk to them in person. I think that's a very valuable thing.
Yeah, but sometimes you always can't talk to people in person. They're far away and you don't have their phone numbers.
Yeah, I know. But people that you see like at prime time, for example, members that come in, I bet they probably enjoy, for the most part, when you say, hey, how you doing,
Trying to get Michelle to join primetime people. Try to help me do that, because Michelle and Lumi too. Michelle and Lumi sit in this house all day long. Yeah, they walk up the street to the soup kitchen. They walk
sit there for a few hours.
Sit there for a few hours, make a video, come back, go to bed.
Pretty much.
So I feel that if the audience out there help me get Michelle to just come down and take a tour again of primetime and see how much primetime is not changed. I feel that Michelle would enjoy doing that instead of sitting in these four walls.
What I'd like to do is become more active member of the general community which I live in, which is Winstead, and I was talking to my landlord about using one of the empty storefronts downstairs to start a small little repair shop business just to stay active. I don't know if he's going to go for it or not, but right now he's got 3 storefronts for rent. And one of them is a restaurant and zoned for a restaurant. The other 2 are storefronts. One's an old nail salon, one's where the old Salvation Army was.
I would love to open my own restaurant. I would love to, because I have experience in fast food. I worked at McDonald's, I worked Burger King, I worked Wendy's, I worked all that. I would love to open my own restaurant, because I also, when my father was still with me, at 15 years old, this is a true story.
Almost 10.
Do you know where the country club is up on Torrenford Street up that way?
I think so.
Well, it's not there no more, but it used to be a snack bar there. And I can remember 2 summers, me and my sister would get up, get ready for the day, and we ran the snack bar. I was 15, my sister was 13, and that was our job. Every single day we went out and did that. My father made sure we had all our equipment, all our coffee, all our hot dogs. We sold hot dogs, we sold breakfast sandwiches, we sold all kinds of stuff.
Pretty much the same thing Louis used to sell.
Right.
Serve downstairs.
And that's something I enjoy, because my father taught me how to do that.
But the biggest problem is if you were to ever run Louis, it has a huge upfront costs associated.
Not something like Louis, like the Windsor Diner. I would love to have something like that. The Windsor Diner.
Windsor Diner is not for rent, but Louis is.
I know, but Louis is a little too big for me. I would like to have something small that I can call.
Maybe a little bit too big for you by yourself, but not if you had another person you went in with.
Yeah, but anyway, but that's something that I enjoy doing, and that's something that I'd love to teach my grandchild or my grandchildren. I think it'd be really interesting, especially to teach Desmond, because I think Desmond would be good instructor because he likes being a boss. He's 7 years old and he loves being a boss.
Yeah, that's not uncommon for boys to be like that. But unfortunately, no matter which restaurant you choose, the initial outlay is very high, and it'd be hard for a person on fixed income to get started.
But see, my father always told me if I was to go for a loan, I don't know if this is really true, but this was my dad told me, and daddies don't lie, so some daddies.
I'm a business major, so...
And he told me one time that if Joe Doe went to go get for the same loan that I did, and to open up a restaurant or open up a hairdressing salon, that I would have a better chance because I'm a woman and I'm on disability. So I just hope that someday, for myself too, because I just get really bored.
For that. There are several programs that are designed especially to help the disabled, and
I like to own my own house someday.
So it is possible to get, but the problem is finding a bank through the Small Business Administration that is going to act as your guarantor. Mm-hmm. Right now, the banks are extremely uncomfortable lending money because they're seeing some significant problems in the economy. And the sad truth is, if you don't have a very solid business plan,
I like to have a car too.
Not if you're running a restaurant. I mean, you can get your food delivered. But you could get a car eventually, because you do have a driver's license, which I don't have. I have to get my ID renewed in February, which I don't know how.
I just got my license renewed in October. You know how much it cost me?
How much?
$75 to get my license renewed.
Well, since I don't have a car, it's not a license. It's this ID card.
Could you imagine when my grandchildren are old enough, how much it's going to be? Probably be about $200 to get a license.
Yeah, but you only have to pay for like once, every 3-4 years?
Well, mine. I just got mine, and mine is good till. Hang on, I'll tell you in a second. Mine is good until 10/9/21.
Okay, so it's about... Okay, so it's about... Yeah, it's about 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a driver's license because I can't drive. I got a state ID, which is $22.50 to renew it.
But still, that's crazy.
Yeah, they'll say just for a picture, and now to meet the Department of Homeland Security, you got to get what they call verified. I suspect yours would be a verified. That was one of the two choices I had. It's just a plain one, which is not usable for boarding an airplane, and when it's suitable for boarding an airplane.
I've had my license since I was 17, and I think my father paid $25 for my license.
You know,
compared to $75. That jumped 50 years. That jumped $50 in 30 years.
That's actually not that much of a jump. Look at the price of film, a roll of film.
And I can remember gas when I got my license was 99 cents.
Well, it's gonna get back down to that again because OPEC, Saudi Arabia, wants to drop the price for oil per barrel down to $29 a barrel.
Oh, I just think the life.
So you might see more back to the good old 99 cents gas.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and not cool at the same time. Not cool because other OPEC nations are upset because they're losing money and they're letting go of people. For American oil producers, that'd be terrible because they can't compete with $29 a barrel for crude oil. I mean, that's that's almost $1 a gallon of crude. I mean, you think about it. We're talking about a barrel holds 55 gallons. It's 50 cents, about 50 cents a gallon of crude oil. Pretty big difference, huh? Yeah. So, anyway, to make a long story short, we might see 99 cents gas again.
That'd be cool.
But, unfortunately enough for me, I don't know if how much longer I can keep going with the expenses I have. I haven't figured that out yet. Me and Dory were talking about that earlier. I mentioned to you in my Christmas message that we were going to have to sit down and talk about the budget. And so I guess this was as good as time as any since Dory's here and she knows how my budget is.
So I just want to mention that I got the newspaper today. And if everybody can see that, there's our first snow plow going through the town of Torrington. I think it's I don't know if it's Torrington, but going through the towns. So
right. Well, it's the first.
That makes this show very, 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 very happy to see this.
Yes.
Me, on the other hand.
Yeah, but you know what though? We were going to go to get coffee. Coming, she said, "Aren't you going to go get your jacket? It's kind of cold." I said, "No, not cold."
Actually, it's warmer out now than it was when I got here.
Oh yes, that's because of the there's a temperature inversion right now going on. That's why it's if it was to still precipitate, it would be rain right now instead of snow. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow the temperature will be 5 degrees, and then it's going to start to cool down a little bit.
Well, and the weather here. I mean, I'm just the weather here. It says today is 40 degrees. 40 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be 45. Mm-hmm. Thursday is going to be 44. Thursday's 44, Friday's 39, and Saturday is 36. So you can see that the weather is going down, 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 down.
Right. Right now, what you're seeing for temperatures is what you should have been seeing in early November.
November, yeah.
Oh, but the good news is the El Nino, the ENSO, which stands for El Nino Southern Oscillation, is weakening and is now switching to La Nina.
Do you think that the Earth would ever change, like South Carolina and Florida and all that area up there? We'll get the cold weather and the snow, and we'll get all the hot. Do you think that'll ever change?
Well, that's what they got right now. That's because of El Nino. The Midwest got slammed hard, and the southern states got slammed hard, including Texas got a ton of snow because of the El Nino. And so, yes, during the seasons, it does happen in the wintertime in several years. And we did have a mild, warm winter so far here in New England. Again, because the El Nino was pushing up the tropic conveyor air mass into the Connecticut, New England region. And was keeping the cold air from the Canadian lows up into into the Hudson Bay. However, the cold air from the Columbia, Vancouver area was coming down into the Washington State, Oregon, Montana, North and South Dakota, and stuff like that. Which set it up with the warm conveyor air that was coming in, made all these storms. That's how we got this big winter storm Goliath, which finally covered the entire country. It was the first one that finally did. And that, I strongly believe, was because of our working we did on the 21st, is how it started to weaken the El Nino effect.
Excuse me.
Studying the water temperatures around the El Nino area where the ENSO is. They say the temperatures are dropping. Well, they didn't expect the water temperatures to drop this fast, and it's dropping very quickly. So it's like the equivalent of the swelling is going down, if you will, because when you put an ice pack on a swelling, in other words, it's losing the heat. It's not staying as warm. So, because I noticed that after we did that working, I could feel a sense of confirmation that it will be as I had said in the message in the end of the video.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know, because I remember when I was a kid, the snowstorm we had, I believe it was 78. Was it 78 or 77? No, we had all that snow. And I was 13 years old when we had that snow.
Yeah, I remember the one you're talking about.
Was it 78 or 77?
It was kind of out of the sudden. It was like no one expected it.
Nobody expected it. And it's just like,
right,
we had like...
Right, there was... Right, that was the one that was the instantaneous one, yeah.
Yeah, what was that, 77?
Really did it, I think it was 76, 75. 76,
I think, yeah.
Around there.
Because I was 13 at 76.
Okay. Well, anyway, Buffalo, New York was so hammered, they actually couldn't even get out the front doors. They had to jump out of the windows because their houses, because they couldn't even get out the front doors.
I'd be shitting. I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, a lot of people in Buffalo, New York didn't know what to do either.
When we had all that snow last year, I was going stir crazy. I can't imagine have to jump out your bedroom window on the second floor to go outside, get out of your house.
Oh, when we had that winter storm Nemo, it was pretty hard for me to get over to Cumberland Farms to get coffee. We had 4 or 5 foot drifts. In order to get the Cumbies, I had to roll over the cliffs like a giant log, and then get my coffee and drink it there at the store because I know I couldn't bring it back here. And then I had to roll over the cliffs again and get back into the door because there was no way to even shovel the walkway out because the plows had plowed all the snow right back into that video is on my YouTube channel. You can find that about Winter Storm Nemo if you want to see my experiences. I was so dog tired the day I just came home and it was 6 in the morning. I just hit the mattress and fell asleep.
I believe, let's see, my granddaughter was born, she's 2. Angie was born 2013. And my daughter, we were supposed to have her baby shower February 2nd, 2013. Well, we never had it because we had that big, huge snowstorm.
That was Nemo, I think.
Right. And me and my daughter, because we paid $54 for her cake, her baby shower cake. We paid for it in advance. So me and Amber are walking to Stop and Shop. Now, you mind me, Amber is pregnant.
Right.
And we walk from our house to Stop and Shop to get her cake.
In a big pile of steep snow.
In that big, huge snowstorm. Now, you mind...
Right.
And people are beeping at us and everything. It was funny.
Well, I remember the snowstorm that was not too long before that, which is not a winter storm, it's an autumn snowstorm. Alfred, that one I remember most because that we lost power for a few days.
Yes. More than a few days. It was like...
A week. About a week.
No, that wasn't in 2013. That was in like 2000...
No, it was before.
11.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
11, yeah.
Right before
I was living at the Y.
Halloween, yeah.
I was living at the YMCA in Torrington, and I remember because the generator didn't work. The backup thing, it was broken. So I had to go over they opened up the Vogel Wetmore School for people that didn't have electricity and stuff. And I stayed over there for a while. I had dinner over there and stuff like that. And my daughters were worried about me. They didn't know where I was and stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, well, me and Ed spent most of the time hanging out at the senior center here in Winston because they had a generator running. It's funny we should bring up generators, and we'll talk about that in a second. But it was good. That was the only way we could charge our cell phone. we couldn't even really cook here because we didn't have any gas heat. We don't have any gas cooking, and they didn't have any propane cylinders for his little stove, except for one that he's using for his little propane heater he had. I had no heat in my apartment. He had a little propane heater in his. So I was, just like we were doing tonight, I was under a pile of blankets, just wrapped up like a giant sausage. When the temperatures in the apartment were dropping down into the 20s. Yes, I remember that. And Ed was surprised that I was keeping my sanity while he was starting to lose his. I said, well, none of us has to keep our sanity.
Ed was a worrywart.
And which is related to what I was going to say about generators. Guys, look, the technology is available now that you don't have to go through that ever again. If you guys invest in alternative power backup, such as generators. I mentioned this a couple years ago. You guys can have emergency power. You can always make sure you always have the lights on. Now, some of you might say, well, what about solar power? Well, in the wintertime in New England, solar power is useless. They don't have enough sun to charge a large amount of batteries. So if you want to go with solar as a backup source, that's great too. But a mechanical generator such as a propane or natural gas fire generator connected to your circuits would be better for long term. At least you'll be able to cook dinner if you got an electric stove, and then you'll be able to keep your boiler running so you have heat. I mentioned that to Millie, the landlord's wife, that they live in Canaan. I said, you guys should get a generator up here because they have such a large house of electric heat. I said, you guys can then worry about freezing it even if the power goes out because they have well water too, and then you'll still be able to have take a nice hot shower, and you'll be able to cook on your electric stove. She said, well, we never really thought about that. I said, well, all I would do is get in contact with your electrician and have it installed by a properly licensed electrician. Because if it's an improperly installed generator, is a bad idea. But, it's not that expensive to install in the right way. And think of it this way. You always as long as you got propane and natural gas on site, you always will have electricity. Or if you want to go with diesel, it's just another option.
Oil. If you have oil, we always have oil. We always have heat.
Yeah, as long as you have electricity to run the oil burner. But at least if you got your standard diesel generator can burn number 2 heating oil as well. So yeah, it can provide heat as well as electricity for you. Might be a little polluting, but it's better than nothing. But if you do want to use alternative means of power such as solar as a backup, that's great for the summer when you got lots of sun, but in the wintertime it doesn't do crap for you. But if you got a big enough battery bank, you could have, I wouldn't be able to run my electric stove on the big batteries from a solar panel, but the studio lights, the one computer, like Dory's computer, Dory uses the eMac, or the iMac would work fine on it. We could still be doing videos that way too. But, most people won't think about that. But we nowadays, more and more so, we're so technically connected to the power grid that we don't realize just how ill-prepared most of us are if the power goes out. Back when I was a kid, it was just a minor annoyance that you couldn't watch cartoons, or you couldn't use
or watch watch your favorite TV shows. Yep.
But nowadays, because everything is electric, including your cell phone and things like that, you need to keep your cell phones charged, and your laptops and your computers. It's becoming more and more important to have a backup source of energy. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that should be kept in mind, especially when you have winter storms like Goliath here, which incidentally, the death toll for Goliath at this point for the whole country is 48 people who died from this winter storm that came through here.
Wow.
Just now. That number will probably go up, so guys, just
keep safe.
Yeah, be safe, especially because it's icy out there. Unless you got dexterity of a mountain goat, you may want to go a little extra slower, especially if you're driving a car. You might have black patches of ice when it's getting cold enough.
Sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes it is, but you got to have extra eyes in the back of your head in this time of year. You always got to watch out for other people when you're driving.
We talk about defensive driving. Well, I do defensive walking because I never know what's coming down that road.
Right.
Because sometimes, I might think that the car is slowing down, or I think they have enough clearance to see me, and all of a sudden they're like somebody's talking on their cell phone and they're not looking ahead, or the kids are yelling in the background, and all of a sudden I'm like, I almost got run flat in the summertime a couple of years ago because a woman was talking on her cell phone when me and Ed were in the crosswalk going across the street.
Well, that's like today. I was in Torrington walking from my house to the bus stop. It ain't that far away. And the sidewalks weren't plowed. So I was walking in the road trying not to get hit by a car. And this woman, I don't know if she was having a bad morning or having road rage, I don't know. But she rolls down her passenger window and she told me to get the F out of the road and go on the sidewalk. And I said to her in a polite way, I said, Happy New Year to you. And she looked at me and gave me a dirty look and drove away. But she personally stopped her car in the middle of the road and told me to get the F out of the road.
What I would have said to her? This is what I would have said to her. I would have said, ma'am, I can't use the sidewalk because no one shoveled it yet. I wonder what you would say to that.
So she saw that the sidewalk was full of ice and the road was clear, and she just was road rage.
Oh yeah, speaking of sidewalks, the Nader slip and die report. I'm gonna have to talk about that, guys. There's a stretch of Winston Main Street that is so dangerous. We call it slip and die. It's slippy and die.
Slippy and die.
Yeah, because it's so slanted. The sidewalk is so screwy. If you slide, you can slide. No. Some kids might like it if it was a kid's toy, like slip and slide for the summertime, right? Put water in there. But unfortunately, in the wintertime, it freezes to solid black ice, and it ain't nice. So if you go by Nader's, and you see it's just snowed, stay off the slip and die, okay? Stay on the road because...
Oh, you're beyond the cycle. Okay.
No, you slide on Nader's, you're going to be in the wall. That's what almost happened to Ed a few times.
Okay, well, I just want to wrap this up and say Happy New Year to everybody. And please let me know if you like my videos.
Well, let's besides that, we still do need to talk about something to the public here.
Well, aren't you going to make another video?
So, I want to take this time to also, yes, express interest. Now, Dory has her own channel. I have my own channel. Lumi has her own channel. I haven't done anything like that. You haven't done anything like it. But technically, we all have our own channels. So,
I know, it's fun, huh?
Yeah, the only thing is you're not on my list of channels.
I'm not.
That's because Dory's technically not us. She's not on our channel. She has her own channel. Right, we couldn't work together. It's cooperative. Make sure that if you want to send a comment to Dory, please send it to Dory. Don't send it to me and expect me to send it to Dory. Cause...
On my last video, I had 25 viewers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, it's just a pretty one.
So if you let me know, my everybody knows my email address is Dory myvilletorrington gmail.com, and just let me know.
Finally, she nails it.
And just let me know if you like them or if you don't like them, or you can just have a happy and safe New Year.
And don't forget to subscribe to Dory's channel. In fact, Dory, we're going to put this video on your channel because this is kind of your video, and then we're gonna do my video. And you want to do it a little? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, might as well do something useful. All day. So we'll let you wrap up yours, and then we'll just go ahead and prepare for my video, which you can be part of if you want. So
okay, I just want to wrap this up and wish everybody a happy New Year. And Michelle, thank you for joining me, and Lumi, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
And God bless and Happy New Year.
Yeah.